Hola amigos, it's Will here at Will's Custom Figures, coming at you today with a big bad breakdown of Steve Mills. And as you can tell from this picture, he is a member of the UK Police Force, and what an absolute treat and an honour for me to work on somebody who puts his own life at risk to protect the people and the good citizens of the United Kingdom. So please sit back, relax while I talk you through why and how I made this and everything else in between. So let's start by why. Well, Mr. Mills here, or Sergeant Mills, I'm not sure what his police official title would be, took the time to reach out to me. He's always been a fan of hasbros, of wrestling, and he's always dreamt about having his own figure, which is these are probably some of my favorite projects to work on, because you really can tell where somebody just likes wrestling or likes having their own figure, or it's a novelty type thing, and where it's something that they've dreamt about for their entire lives. So he took the time to reach out to me, sent me, I'm pretty sure it was a Bossman. Yeah, it was a Bossman. Sent me a Bossman figure that he had sourced himself, so that's always nice to keep the costs down. And he explained what he wanted. He wanted a set of handcuffs, and don't know if you can tell from this, but these are not the original Bossman handcuffs that come with the Elite. These are casted ones. I'm so pleased with how they turned out. Took the time to do a silicone mold and then resin cast, and the same with the nightstick. And what brilliant extras. This is all his creativity. He sent me over the police uniform that he's going to be wearing. He told me about the specifics that he wanted, sent me the specific shots of himself and his face. And yeah, certainly no expenses spared from my perspective, putting this effort and making sure that it was as close to the real thing and the police officer's uniform that I could possibly get. So I'm going to give you a little bit more detail into the nitty gritty. So I'll use both hands so I can explain and talk you through this section, because this is probably one of the hardest sections to do. So I had to drill holes to make the holes bigger in the hand and in here to make sure that the baton could go in either. Clay, I completely did a fresh clay head sculpt to make it look like him. The glasses, lots of people ask me about glasses. I use a very, very thin roll of clay, put it on there while the face is still raw clay. It can't be hard clay because the clay doesn't stick to like cooked clay very well. So I'll then use little tacks of super glue to just tack them in position. So tack in between the eyes, tack on the other side of the eyes, tack behind the ear, and generally that shape holds quite well. I do one big long line from behind the ear all the way across the top part to the nose, and then all the way across to the other ear. That's one bit of clay, and I cut it either side there and there. And then I apply like this W shape underneath. Obviously the eyes have been completely painted. I'll just zoom in so you can really see up close the effort that's gone in there to make it look like he's wearing his glasses. Even got the little police badge on the top of the hat. Now this hat wasn't easy to do. This is completely 100% made from clay. To see these from different angles was quite difficult. So I spent a lot of time googling different kinds of hats, I presume you call them, or helmets. I presume it's a hat, isn't it? Yeah, trying to get into all the nitty gritty of how to actually make one of these. So yeah, just rolled a circle, basically pinched the edges of the circle around, made sure it was sort of like flat, but a little bit of a looked a little bit natural on top, with a little bit of a natural curve there. Then this section here at the front, super fragile, but once the top had been made, it's just a case then of creating like a little U shape, gluing that just under, making sure it doesn't quite touch the glasses. But the hat was the last bit to do. And I also spent time, I wanted to make sure, you see there's a gap in between. The head was completely finished before I then applied the hat, because I wanted you to be able to look under the hat and see that, oh my God, like you can see his hair going up the sides in between the glasses and little details like that. The facial hair and the skin colours and everything else, I used Citadel for the skin colours, and I've used Vallejo for all of the other paintwork over the whole body. Really pleased with how the tie and how the all of the other little details like the collar have turned out. A lot of this is still the original Bossman. You can see here the artwork from the actual Bossman figure, these parts here. as well as these little badges and things and the pockets. I managed to retain the integrity of those. I used a gloss, a varnish gloss, just to give the illusion, I don't know if you can see it there, of a zip going up, and also buttons going down the side, as well as the belt buckle and the shoes, which I think really pops. This is one thing that I find people don't do enough of. You can see these are like a matte material, and then the shoes pop, you know, the buttons pop, and that's what I want from my figures. I think that, you know, the material, this material here, this cross-hatched blue and white that's notorious with the British police force, that is time, lots and lots of time, but it isn't glossy, it isn't varnishy, it doesn't shine or sparkle, same as around the hat here. But then having then the front of the hat, you know, sort of glossed there, and having the eyes glossed and the lips and little small features and touches like that, I think really makes it pop. So guys, that's kind of it really as far as giving you this big bad breakdown. Certainly an absolute honor for me to work on. Posability wise, unfortunately I had to get rid of the posability at the arm joint, the elbow joint, sorry, here, just to make sure that the figure looked as absolute good as it possibly could. I could have probably kept that, but it wouldn't have looked as good with the jacket. It can still move at the waist as well, and this arm still moves up and down. So, you know, you're not ordering Hasbro figures for their articulation. You're probably ordering them if you're interested, or if you collect them for the nostalgia. And I have no doubt at all that this is going to a good home. So guys, my final reflections: what an absolute pleasure to work on this figure. I am very, very proud of how it's turned out. Of all of the figures I've ever done, I think I am probably most proud of this one, and a really, really nice and fitting way for me to be able to say thank you to all of the police force for putting themselves on the front line within the UK to protect its citizens. So guys, please like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and get in touch if you want one of your own. Whether or not you're a police officer, fireman, whether or not you work in an office, I don't really care. To me, it's all about the story of the person that's ordering it. And this guy is an absolute legend to work with. So thanks again for this. Thanks again for watching this video, guys. And until next time, from Corporal or Officer, or I don't know what you'd call him, Officer Mills, I'll speak to you soon. Peace.